Hi, my name is Tilly and my channel is all about beauty, glow ups, self-development, figuring life out, and just lots of little nifty tips and tricks. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please hit that subscribe button. I'm going to talk about how you can look and smell amazing this summer. And I emphasize the word on smell here because I feel like you can look like a million bucks, but if you don't smell good, doesn't matter. Cancels out every cute outfit that you could ever wear. So first of all, when I say clean girl, I'm not thinking slick back buns, you know, little golden hoop earrings and little white tank tops. No, I'm talking about a girl that's got her life put together or at least looks like her life is put together, and that's all we can really hope for in this life. So let's just jump right in. First, we're going to talk about skin and facial hair. So facial hair, like brows, lashes, and all that jazz. So skincare is so personal. Like what works for me might not work for you, but there is a general rule of thumb to follow depending on your age, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So for my under 25 girls, and this includes the over 25s, like we're going to do under 25 and then we're going to add on to the over 25s. But if you're under 25-year-old, you just need to listen to this next step. And a big rule for me in skincare and in life in general is less is more, especially for your skin. There is no need to follow every single skincare trend out there. In fact, please don't. Find a routine that works for you and stick to it every day. So first of all, you're going to need a gentle cleanser. There's lots of them out there. These are a few that I like. And then you're going to want a moisturizer for morning and night. And you're going to want an SPF for your mornings. And then you're basically just going to need a breakout treatment. So I like to think of it as two-part for breakout treatments. One, to proactively avoid getting breakouts, and one, to treat breakouts when they do happen. I personally recommend Epiduo Gel for the younger gals and boys out there. I just think it's the best one on the market. You can get the prescription strength one or over the counter. Start with over the counter, see if it works. If it doesn't, go up to the prescription strength one and see from there. And then next step in like acne treatment breakout situations is when you do get a breakout, what do? I recommend pimple patches. I honestly think they're the best thing ever. They stop you from picking at it. They make it look way better, especially if you get ones that are like invisible. They're a little bit more expensive, but you know, for daytime wear, fantastic. And then you can just use the usual, you know, everyday ones when you're not going out or just at night. I love them. They suck out all the grossness and they just calm down every breakout I've ever had anyway. Now, if you're going to use exfoliators, if that's the kind of care you think your skin needs, please, again, less is more. Don't do it more than 2 times a week. You can use physical exfoliants, so these are the ones that like feel like they've got sand in them, they've got like a little scrub going on, or you can use chemical. You can use one, you know, on one week, one on the other week, and alternate, or you can use both in 1 week, but again, no more than 2 exfoliation days in a week. And these are the ones that I like, again, tried and tested. I now barely exfoliate. I use a physical exfoliator and I like this one the best. Now, this part is for literally everyone else, like over 25. So you're going to do everything I've just said and you're going to add into it this instead. So you're going to swap out your Epiduo Gel for a retinol cream. Now, retinol basically makes your skin cell turnover faster. So you don't want to be doing that while you're still so young that you don't need to think of skin cell turnover, because all you're going to do is get rid of those young skin cells quicker and then you'll appear older. So don't do that. However, if you're over 25, you want your skin cell turnover is already slowed right down. So you want to speed it up, if that makes sense, to have fresher skin more often, and it avoids wrinkles and it helps with acne scarring and acne itself. You're going to want to work up when it comes to retinol. So start on the lower strength and build your way up to the higher strength very slowly, like, you know, usually takes about 3 months per individual tube for me anyway for it to run out. And I didn't listen to my own rule of less is more, and I built up to the strongest strength and I was using it near enough every day and my skin was not happy with me. And I couldn't figure out why, because it took me like, you know, a year to build up to that point. But now I'm at a point where I only use it 3, maybe 4 times a week max, and my skin is so much happier for it. Okay, now onto facial hair. So for brows, like, keep it simple. If you don't want to find a brow shape that suits your face, like my brows are really limited, I don't have that many eyebrows, so I just pluck the strays, and I like to dye my eyebrows and my eyelashes actually. I just think it makes my makeup so much easier. Like, I don't have any brow product on today and I just think my brows look okay, and that's enough for me. And a little bonus like skincare tip, if we can call it that, is lash serum. I like the Glow For It lash serum, but there's lots of ones out there on the market, or you can just use natural ones as well, like castor oil, that kind of thing. But be careful when it comes to lash serums, because you don't want to have, basically there's an ingredient that are in lots of lash serums out there that kill the fat under your eye, and it just makes like your eyes look more sunken in and it makes you look older, so you don't want to do that. And now onto the hair that you don't really want to look after, in fact we want to kill and get rid of. I recommend dermaplaning. I dermaplane my entire face except for the mustache area You're not going to want a dermaplane there. You're going to want to wax your upper lip if you have hairs there. And if you're like me and a part of the cool girl club when it comes to getting like gross little chin hairs that I currently have, then you're going to want to get electrolysis. Electrolysis is essentially a probe that goes into the hair follicle and zaps it. It feels like a little needle, and then it kind of like gets hot and burns. That doesn't sound very appealing, but it is the only way to get rid of hair permanently. You could opt for laser. I would never recommend that, because laser hair removal treatments on hormonal hair that happens on our faces, it could actually encourage hair growth and make it 10 times worse, make the hairs grow quicker, thicker, longer, and activate follicles that maybe weren't activated before into growing more. So wouldn't recommend that. I'd recommend electrolysis. And then just something to note when it comes to skin, like, we're not chasing perfection. We just want consistency here. Like, I think I look pretty today, and I have breakouts, I have acne. Even though I have makeup on, you can still see it coming through. The goal is to feel and look pretty. That makes sense. And that doesn't mean perfection, because I think we see ourselves through the lens of social media too often, and it's so easy to just blur over those imperfections. In real life, people have skin texture, people have breakouts, and I don't think that means that you're not pretty. Okay, now onto our bodies. So this has got nothing to do with working out or eating or anything like that. I just mean how to smell like a cupcake. Because let's be honest, smelling good is half of the clean girl work done. And it all starts in the shower. This is going to be in kind of like 3 main steps in the shower. All the rest of the steps like are out with the shower, if that makes sense. Exfoliation, but you don't want to over exfoliate, because just like our faces, our bodies can be over exfoliated. You're going to want to do this, you know, 2 to 3 times a week max. And there's different ways that you can do this. You could use sugar scrubs, love them. You could use exfoliating gloves, that's my preferred method. Or you can even do dry brushing, which like has lots of other health benefits. Personally, not into it, don't like the feel of it. Step 1 is you're going to want to use a soap that kills bacteria. So not just any cleanser, you're going to want one that's antibacterial. I like the Dettol bar soap, and I use this on my underarms because that's, you know, where most of my smell is coming from. And I like to put the soap on, let it sit for a couple minutes, rinse off, then do it again. And then you're going to want to use a gentle cleanser. I like the Dove bars. I just love a bar of soap, like, you know, what can a gal do? And then a specific pH balance, non-soap soap, if that makes sense. Like, they foam up, but there's no soap in them, for your more intimate areas. And then you're going to move on to your scented cleanser. This is one where you're adding smell into your pores, so you can get one that smells like, you know, whatever you like strawberries, if that's what you're into, use a strawberry one, whichever works for you. Now, once you're out the shower and you're feeling all fresh, it's time to move on to the next step, which is kind of like the extras. What I've described so far is kind of like the bare minimum for hygiene purposes. But if you want to go that extra mile to smell like a cupcake, then this is what you need to do. Before I get into it, I'm going to explain that you need to layer scents. Like, if you want to smell like a cupcake, you can't just spritz on perfume and walk out the door. That's not how it works. You're going to want to layer your scents. So there'll be different products that I'm about to talk about. But when you're picking these products, you want to make sure that they share similar notes, or that they have notes that marry up together. So by notes, it just means like different smells. Like, you're going to want to mix woody notes with floral notes. Like, I know sandalwood mixes really well with jasmine. Or you can mix fruity notes with musky notes, like peaches and cashmere. That goes so well together. So just keep that in mind when you're picking out the individual products that you're going to use for the next few steps. So you know how to marry your scents up, and now you're out the shower. What you're going to want to do now is apply your body lotion from head to toe so that you're nice and moisturised, because scents stick better to us when we're not dry. Then you're going to want to apply your deodorant. Again, in between each step here, just let it sit for a couple of minutes so that, you know, it can do its thing and cling to your skin properly. This step is optional. I personally don't do it because I don't like the feel of it, but body oil, if you're someone with quite dry skin, this is a great step to do. Then you're going to want to spritz on your body mist, and then your perfume. Again, waiting in between each one and making sure that each scent works well together. You don't want scents that clash. And last but not least, and this is a specific hack for summer, wouldn't use this in the winter personally, but dusting powder. Think of this as kind of like the setting powder of your body, if that makes sense. And this is going to lock all that lovely, beautiful smells that you've just put on yourself. And another little bonus is to spritz perfume on the inside of your clothes. Because our bodies are warm, we're going to naturally release heat, and that will release the scent of the perfume throughout the day in a really pleasant and not overwhelming way. And a little hack, if you're like me and you prefer to shower in the evenings, you're not going to want to doing all these steps and going to bed with perfume on at night. That's ridiculous. Please don't do that. You're going to want to get out the shower, put your lotion on, go to bed, wake up the next morning and just apply a thin layer of lotion again, and just start the steps as if you just got out the shower. Okay, now on to makeup. Now, makeup's such a personal thing. There is no right or wrong way of doing it. There's slight rules to follow. This is just how I like to do my makeup and how I achieve, like, you know, this kind of like glowy, basic, simple look. That if I slicked my hair back, I would look like a clean girl. You know, it would happen. But I like having my hair done. So the key here is makeup should enhance, not cover up. So don't go for the full coverage, don't go for the false lashes, keep it light, keep it simple. You want skin that looks like skin, even if that means a blemish or two shines through, not the end of the world. So these are products that I use and I like. When it comes to skin, I recommend skin tints or very light coverage foundations. I like MAC personally, but I also know that the Maybelline skin tint is fantastic as well. And you can also opt for BB creams or CC creams. You're going to want to favour cream products over powder. Powder products always look heavier. So cream blushes, cream bronzers, and cream highlighters. I personally can't recommend a cream highlighter. I haven't found one that works well for me. So I just use a very, very light touch when it comes to powdered highlighters. And I like the thicker one because I'm basic in that way. You're going to want to value fluffy brows. So you can use a clear brow gel. And if you do need to fill your brows in a little bit, you can use a pen. I personally like the Kiko one, and I also know that the Revolution one's good because I've had that in the past. This is the one I'm using currently, but you don't have to use it every day. I haven't got anything on my eyebrows right now, and I still think it looks okay because I dye my eyebrows, so you can also do that as well. When it comes to lashes, keep it simple. I like these mascaras. There's about 1 million on the market. Please pick one that works for you and your lashes. And if you're wanting a super duper natural look, pick one that's brown. When it comes to lips, we're going to avoid matte. We're going to avoid satin. We're going to stick with glosses and lip oils. I have the e.l.f. lip oil on right now, but you can also go even more natural and just pick a lip balm. I like the Laneige one the best. I think it's the most moisturizing product out there. Okay, and the next part is kind of like a little pep talk, if that makes sense, and you know, how to have the clean girl vibe with you throughout the day. You're going to want to have a little mini hygiene kit with you, and in this you're going to want to include wipes. You never know what's going to happen. You want to include gum because I love coffee but it can make your breath stink, so you know, gum and breath mints a must. Hand cream, because there is nothing worse than dry cuticles. Like, it's my pet peeve. Like, I just think that ruins everyone's look, and you want to take a cute picture of your matcha but your hands look all crusty dusty. No, please, hand cream, moisturise those cuticles. And if you're like me and you're an oily gal, blotting sheets to absorb oil, just so you don't have to constantly take powder on, because that can again make your face just look caked in makeup, and that's not part of the vibe that we're going for. And a little cheap girl hack here that I used to do all the time is I would buy cigarette rolling papers and use them to blot, because they do the exact same thing for a fraction of the price. And then just in general, when it comes to like nails, because I'm sorry, I'm now thinking of crusty dusty nails, if you're going to get acrylics or biab, absolutely go for it, but stick to nude colours, just because you'll have already got all this routine to follow and now you're wanting to stay on top of your nails. If you pick a nude pinky colour that's kind of similar to your skin tone, then that won't like show up as much when it grows out. Whereas if you've got like a bright red or a bright pink on your nails, you're going to really see when that grows out, and that's not part of the clean girl aesthetic, is having 4-week-old nails that clearly need an infill. Or you could be like me and just go completely, you know, clear top coat. And to have that outer glow, you need to have an inner glow. So, you know, clean diet, carry around a water bottle as if it's your purse, because the clean girl isn't just about how she looks, it's about how she feels, and you can't feel confident if you don't feel well in yourself. So that's your full guide on how to achieve the clean girl look, aesthetic, vibe, feel. Please comment down below what was your favourite tip from above, or have I taught you nothing in this video? That's an option as well. If you already know them all, fantastic. Instead, please comment down below what's your favourite one, what's one that you could not give up. Me personally, dusting powder. Can't let that one go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you guys have a great day. And yeah, bye.